I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2, and this is video 6. It would have been video 5 beta, but I just decided, screw it, I'll just go ahead and make it a whole nother set of videos. Now, my phone back on vibrate, so in case some other oxymoron decides to try to video chat with me while I'm video blogging, and I won't have to insult them, which you probably heard in video 2 or 3, maybe video 1. Anyway, so let me get down to business. Alright, one, I came up with Kung Fu Havoc 1 to open doors that a certain studio here in Virginia wouldn't open for me. Okay? Epic fail. So I came up with Kung Fu Havoc 2 because I lost control of Kung Fu Havoc 1 due to the fact that whoever bought YouTube at the time kept sending me something and I didn't have a Google account, and I cannot anymore open Kung Fu Havoc number 1. So everything on there is where you're going to see all of my chopsocky stuff. Now, let me break it down for you real quick. In my other videos, I touched on martial arts. I touched on people calling out people liars. I touched on everything under the sun that I could touch under. So now I'm going to talk to you about why it's so important to me to do martial arts. When I first started off martial arts, I started off with basically bad intentions. I was a street fighter who needed an edge. I got an edge, and I got really good at using that edge to survive street fights. Alright, but when you're 6 to 12, can you really call it street fights? You can call it little street skirmishes, but you can't really call it street fights. But by the time I got 15, I pretty much honed my art until it's second nature. So when I would do fighting, it would be 1, 2, and a kick. And sometimes it'd be 1, 2, kick, kick, throw a combo, and you learn what works for you. What worked for me won't always work for you. I can teach it to you, but I can't guarantee you success. The only person that can guarantee you success in a battle is you, practice, and training. If you don't train, which basically is practice, if you don't keep your mental and your physical in the shape that it needs to be in, being a martial artist is hard work. I mean, a lot of people, they don't want to tell you that. They don't want to tell you that because they want you to just get enough. Just get enough so you have a little bit of knowledge here, a little bit of knowledge there. It goes a long way. However, knowledge can't be taken from you, but without knowledge, you are basically helpless. No one wants to be helpless. There is no feeling in the world worse than being someone who is helpless. So we learn martial arts to avoid being helpless. And the best way to avoid being helpless is to, one, try to get yourself in a situation that you can't get out of. Don't let your mouth write checks that you can't cash. I'm sure you guys have heard that saying before. But if your mouth happens to write a check that you can't cash, then you better be able to make change with these fists enough to keep the people not wanting to mess with you anymore. So your reputation helps you as a martial artist. A reputation helps you more than you will ever know. If you have a good reputation as a good fighter, most people tend to shy away from making you their enemy. They don't really make you their friend, but they tend to shy away from making you their enemy. And I know you're thinking, well, how do you know this, James? Experience will always be your teacher. As I've told you in the other 5 videos previous to this video, the best martial artists don't always get noticed. The best martial artists don't always get famous. Like I said, my hero, Bruce Lee, didn't get famous until after he died. Until this day, everyone will always talk about Bruce Lee. When I'm old and dead, Bruce Lee will still be on the highest pedestal of being the grandfather of martial arts in America today and in the world. Now, granted, on that list in any particular order, there will be Jet Li, there will be Sammo, there will be Jackie, there will be Tony Jaa, there will be Mark Dacascos, there will be Russell Wong, and I'm sure you're thinking, well, why did you add Russell Wong? But you guys think he doesn't know martial arts? Yeah, Russell Wong started off as a dancer, but he also knew martial arts. Now, he might not have been as committed to it as the people I put above him, but I did put him on that list for a reason, not just because I'm a fan. And no, I'm not kin to him. My last name is Williams, not Wong. Then you got your Larry Lambs. Larry is my boy. I love Larry. He's my boy. He's really good. Wizard. I'm sorry, but just a shout out. All of the WMAC Masters, in fact, will be on that list. I want to be on that list. When I die, I want people to say, yeah, that James Williams Jr., He's on that list of some of the world's greatest martial artists. Now, for those who don't think I deserve to be on that list, hey, that's your opinion. That's cool. But you gotta remember, back in the 70s and 80s, when Bruce Lee died, he opened up a conglomerate of imitators, spectators, and fans. So, to be a martial artist, it is an honor to be in that list that I just named. It is the greatest honor of all for someone to recognize you for your martial art skills. But what about the people that they don't recognize? What about Yin Wing Chun? What about the Shaolin Society? What about Jack Wong Man? What about Yin Wing Chun? What about Yip Man? What about the people you don't recognize? What about the guy that Jet Li played, Hao Yuan-ji? All those guys were great. They were great in the fact that, so great that people have made movies about them. But yet, you don't get to hear about their exploits. Now, you get to hear about a little bit of Wing Chun. You don't get to hear her whole adventure. Now, if we're going to go into women, I can tell you one person who damn sure be on that list, and she'll be damn near at the top. Michelle Yeoh, Cynthia Khan, and Cynthia Rothrock. Those three chicks were the hottest chicks in the 80s, in the 90s, low-budget direct-to-video movies. Now, Cynthia Rothrock made a damn good name for herself. She actually did break into mainstream for a little bit, and then she just kind of disappeared. I don't know if it's because she got married. I don't know if she started a family. You don't hear much about Cynthia Rothrock these days. But you will always remember who the hell she is, because she gave Cynthia Khan hellacious battles, you know. And these things happen, and people fade away and we come back, and fade away and they come back. But those three women that I named should be at the top of the list for the female martial artists. And then you have Murmur Chen. She was Princess for those who watch WMC Masters. She's fucking awesome too. She was also my second dream fantasy girl. I'm never going to meet her in real life. I'm never going to marry her, so it's not like I can't talk about how beautiful she was, because she was beautiful. She was damn beautiful. There were a lot of other beautiful women in WMAC Masters. Mouse, I can't remember her name. I just remember her as Mouse. And then Kathy Long. She wasn't a WMC Master, but she was a great martial artist. She wasn't as popular as Cynthia Rothrock, but she was really good. I only seen her in 2 movies, so I don't know what she's doing now. But you know, most of us martial artists get into movies to showcase what we can do. And we don't do it for the thrill of making an action movie. We do it for the thrill of letting everybody know that we stand legitly behind what we practice. And as a martial artist, as a master, as an expert, as a person who has studied the martial arts, we will tell you straight, no, martial arts, for the most part, is not a game. It's not something that you can pretend to do. Now, as an actor, you can make it look good. And for the camera, you know, you want to put the most accentuating and erotic moves in there. So if I'm doing this, you're like, you get the finger, James. But if I'm doing jumping spin kicks, round kicks, tornado kicks, shit that you will never use in a real fight, it's like, boom! You get the mega thumbs up. So, what have we learned today? We have learned a lot. You best don't know that you've learned it. So, let me give you a rundown so that I can go to the last video, because I'm going to make these last 3 are short. Well, the last one after this will be shorter. When you're taking a martial art, you're taking a martial art. When you're doing and becoming a martial artist, you must become that martial art. You can't be without becoming. And to become, you must fully dedicate yourself to that art. Now, I'm not saying just be a Wing Chun master, just be a Wushu master, just be a kickboxer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you never stop learning, and you never stop getting better at it. To quote Stan Lee, in one word, Excelsior. And that's what you want to do. When people see you do your martial art, they want to scream Excelsior. They want to make sure that your shit's just beyond excellent, beyond extraordinary, beyond the extraordinary, beyond the unbelievable to the achievable. Once you get that, sky's the limits. I'm James Williams Jr. It's Kung Fu Habit number 2. be seeing you.